Let's see how's LinkedIn. LinkedIn is looking the way it should. Go live. Excellent. We're live everywhere. Good afternoon again, everybody. I hope your day, your week has been productive. Hope everything is going well. I want to start by saying that I don't know if I said this last week, but last week we had, or I think it was this week, we had International Women's Day. And this month is Women's History Month. So let me begin from there. Uh, to all of our incredible mothers, wives, daughters, aunties who are part of the AIM ecosystem, the African immigrant, and just Black women in general and women as a whole. God bless you all. Thank you for all you do. We wouldn't be who we are without all of you. And so we want to start today. I want to begin today by saying Happy Women's Day, Happy Women's History Month. We are proud of your resilience, your strengths. We acknowledge the greatness that all of you carry in you, and we're truly grateful to have you on our corner. We wouldn't be here without you all. So thank you and God bless. And so today, in honor of that celebration, I'll be speaking on my topic will be around women leadership and visibility in diaspora. And it's going to be a series. So this is the first one. So today is phase one of this conversation. Again, it's women, leadership, and visibility in the diaspora. All right, so let's go right in again. Shout out to everybody joining us from LinkedIn, from YouTube, and whatever platforms out there. Maybe you see this on TikTok. Shout out to you. All right, so for many immigrant women, the mantra was to often work hard enough, keep your head down, and that was the whole idea. It was just work hard. But in 2026, keeping your head down is the fastest way to overlooked. Leadership isn't just a title, it's influence, it's visibility, it's impact. That's leadership, right? It's visibility, it's impact, it's influence. It's not just about if you putting your head down, because then you have a higher chance of being overlooked. And so my goal today is to have this conversation to move us from being the best kept secret to an influential leader without losing your authentic self. Right. So beyond just putting your head down and working, how do I ensure that I'm being seen, being heard, and I'm making the impact and I'm in the spaces that I need to be? Again, today's a special dedication to all of our strong, AIM women, for all of the incredible work they do. All right, so there is this, I want to talk about this, how to navigate the double challenge, right? That our women face, the double challenge, and that's cultural expectations versus the new systems, right? Um, there's certain cultural expectations that is from an African that we have of our women. And then there's today where those are shifting, there's a departure. How do we navigate that? And I'm speaking again from a guy's perspective. Many of our women come from cultures where self-promotion is discouraged, right? Most African cultures do not encourage women being loud or being pronounced, being the center of attention. So that self promotion is not encouraged. And then we come to the Western professional world where humility can be mistaken for lack of ambition, right? And I'm sure a lot of our women can attest to that. We're just not bragging, not speaking up, and this applies across the board. But again, my central focus today is on our women. Um, if you're not outspoken, if you're not speaking up for yourself, if you're not talking about your work, if you are not advocating for yourself, it almost looks like you lack ambition, you don't have goals, you're just here for the paycheck. That's what, here in the West, that is what it looks like versus back home where it's like, hey, you don't want to, over promote, over push. So how do we navigate that conversation? How do we go in between these two worlds that we find ourselves in? And that's where, we run into what I call the network barrier. And that's navigating professional circles far from home without the traditional, connections, right? Um, how do we navigate that as an immigrant woman? How do you get around that? And I'll say this to you: authenticity is your power. Authenticity is your power. Why trying to act like a man act like a local often fails. Act like a local often fails. So don't lose your who you are in the process of trying to adapt and adjust. True influence comes when you leverage your unique perspective as a woman in the diaspora. Your experiences are part of what make you special. There's that song I said, "What makes you different is what makes you beautiful." Your uniqueness, your cultural exposure, or the whole package of you is what makes you special. It's what makes you different. And so, yes, there's expectations around how to operate in this place we call home now. Um, but don't lose yourself. Don't act like a man, quote unquote, or act like a local, because you're not that. You're not those things, and it's likely going to fail. You're going to the things you're trying to be, you will never be best at, right? When you're trying to be something that you are not, to fit in or adjust, that will never be. You will never be a man more than a man, right? You will never, no matter how much, or you will never be uh, um an American more than an American, right? It's in trying to do those things. Um, you lose the authenticity of yourself, your voice, your power, your influence, your uniqueness, right? What gives you your own space? You lose all of that. And so it's important that we continue to, as we navigate the journey, don't lose yourself. Continue to, just that self advocacy is so powerful. Um, as we navigate this, systems, as we navigate this our new home, this new place we found ourselves in. It's so important. Don't lose yourself. The values that have made you who you are, don't sacrifice them, don't throw them away. But at the same time, you also need to be aware, right? We're talking about visibility and gaining, influence and impact, right? The game is still the game, and you need to understand the rules and then know how to bring your unique self, your best self, into those conversations, into those rooms. That's your play, right? It is, how do I still be me? How do I still bring my values? How do I still bring my faith? How do I still bring my foundations into corporation, into corporate, right? Into the world of work? How do I still represent who I am and still let my voice be heard, right? I can't let you know, the system I'm coming from prevent me from taking advantage of the one I'm in now that has so much to offer me, right? As an expert, as a professional, as an African woman, as a strong woman. Um, how do I make sure that, yes, my voice is still strong, but my values are seen, right? My voice is strong, my voice is powerful, you know, but it's not, who I am is not lost in that, right? I'm not mistaken for who I am not because of how I present myself, right? That's the fine line. And so, but that's the thing that you want, I want you to carry and always, take with you. It is, this is who I am. It's never going to, and the success you've attained, the breakthroughs you've had, the spaces you're able to walk in, it's a function of your experiences. It's everything has led you to where you are. Everything you've been through, every challenge you've overcome, every hurdle, for us, a lot of our women are very family oriented. And so now you're navigating life, having raising kids and have keeping a home, but also having to break through our work and do big things. And you're doing that because you've seen it's been imbibed in you. You've seen your mom do it. You've seen how, we've seen our mothers exhibit unusual strength and courage. And that's been a formative part of who you are. Don't lose that, right? Don't lose those things, even in your pursuit of corporate success, even as you navigate corporations. Don't throw away all of that. Don't shelve those things, because if not, you're going to be lost in the crowd. You're going to be lost, and again, don't all the way go like, I'm going to put my head down, work hard, strive. You will make a salary, you will earn, but you will never be influential. right? You probably, so don't, one of the things I'm learning, and I say this all the time, it's yes, let your work speak for you. But one thing about the work is it doesn't talk as loud, I promise. It is easy for, if your work is not spoken for by you, it's easy for people to take portions of that and accrue to themselves, right? There's always going to be the person who wants to, it's going well, I want to tag along. And then, it's like I want to get tag along and get an A on a group project where I didn't do anything. There's always going to be those people who want to leech along. They see your work ethic, they want to put their name behind the work you do, but don't show up like you do. And if you're not actively advocating for yourself, for your work, it is going to be so easy for you to lose. Or, it's like the work, when I say the work, let the work speak for itself. I'm trying to phrase this properly. Let your work speak for itself. The work speaks, but it doesn't speak as loud. That's what I'm trying to say. Your work will speak for you, but it will not shout. It will not scream, this person is great. Because when you don't advocate for yourself, when you don't speak up for yourself, when you don't own your work and own the narrative and be your own biggest advocate and cheerleader, anybody else can come tag along. A supervisor will come say, hey, that's my team member. They've taken some shine. A colleague who contributed one thing or the other is going to come out like, hey, I was part of that. And they've taken, and so now the focus of the thing is not just on you anymore. And again, if there are people who played a part in things that you've done, give them their due, but make sure you're not diminished in the process. Are you listening to me? Like, don't make sure you are not diminished in the process. Make sure that your light doesn't get dimmed because other people are trying to, feed off of it and shine their own light, basically. And it's the reason why this is so important to say is because that's what our mothers do. That's what our women, have that natural inclination. We're inclined to help, we're inclined to serve, we're inclined to nurture. And so you don't mind if everybody eats. You don't mind, and that's good. Just make sure your plate is full. Is that making sense? Make sure you get the acknowledgement for your work. Make sure you get the credits. Make sure they know it's you. Make sure if you led the job, make sure it's there. It's clear who led. If you did most of the work, make sure it's clear who did most of the work, right? Make sure don't have the same level of applause as the person who just came along and sent an email, right? No, don't. When we're not, we didn't do the same level of work. You have to. Don't let the work speak for you. The work does not speak loud enough. Speak for yourself. You have a voice. The work doesn't have a voice. The work has results. The organization is happy. They're excellent. They will say thank yous. But the extent to which you've made sacrifices needs to be acknowledged. The extent that you have gone to ensure these projects are delivered needs to be known. Nobody will do that for you. Nobody will do that for you. And so don't let our background and our upbringing be what limits, you from attaining the level of success you deserve. Right. And and so that's the one area, one thing I want to highlight, and then, one of the things that we are doing this month at AIM, we're having a women's conference. It's, the power of women who open doors, sustainable futures, the power of women who open doors. And more conversations we had about that during the conference. But where I want to go today is there is always strength in unity and in numbers, right? There are people you need on this journey, other women that you need. You need the peers who are by your side, who are sitting with you, who are bouncing ideas with you, who you can call and talk through situations with, navigate corporate, and you can speak in pidgin, you can speak in your dialect, you can talk through and say, hey, this is what's going on and this is how things are looking right now. Give me ideas. Have you navigated this? You need those people as you seek to, build a sustainable career of impact, a sustainable business. You need to have players in your team. They don't necessarily have to be on the same job or on the same career path, but there are people who are in your team who you can pick up the phone and call, right? Build those relationships, nurture them, have them, right? Do what you need to do to ensure that those peer-to-peer relationships exist and are strong, right? You can find them in associations, in groups, in communities, right? In collectivists, we are very big on community and providing this networking platform for people where you can go like, hey, I'm working on this, and it's not an absurd conversation to have, right? And so nurture that, and then intentionally again open doors. People who open doors for you. This is the part that is so powerful. It is who is who is speaking for you in rooms that you're not in, who is advocating for you in rooms that you don't have access to, who are your allies in those spaces, who is actively looking out for opportunities, and then you are the first person that comes top of mind. Do you have those people, these people who have gone ahead of you, right, who are ahead of you, who have influence, who have power, who have connections, who have a network, who can make introductions for you, right? And say, hey, I know this person, I can speak to their character. I've worked with this person and I know they will not disappoint you. There are doors that will open very fast based off of the credibility of the sponsor, right? The person saying, hey, this person, I can vouch for them, who can vouch for you, who can speak up for you in a room where whether you get promoted or not is being debated. Do you have allies in those spaces? If you don't, you can't call names of people who have gone ahead of you that are in your circle, that you have their phone numbers, right? Who you can call and say, I'm exploring this opportunity. Do you know anybody in your network that you can connect me to? If you do not have those people, you need to get aggressive in trying to identify and build and nurture those relationships. This is super important. This is super important. It's uh, um, when the power of the collective is you don't have to, you can attain success running by yourself, but it's a lot more like it's a lot more easier. It's a lot more impactful. You go a lot faster when you have people who are in your corner, when you have people who are on your side, who are navigating the play with you, right? And so don't try to break all the barriers when there are people who have already gone to the other side of the wall and can open the door for you, right? You're trying to break through a wall, through a fence, when there's somebody on the other side who has the keys. Find the people with the keys. Let them help you get to where you need to get to. Success is never truly in isolation. There's no success in isolation. Uh, um, there's always people who are helping. There are people who are advocating, people who are mentoring, people who are showing you the ropes, holding doors open for you, and pointing you on the direction to walk through those doors. And so find your sponsors, find your mentors, find those ahead of you who are lifting you up, opening doors, speaking your name in rooms where you might never be able to get into. You're not even aware of some of these rooms. But these people are your advocates. They look out for you, right? And I've seen this in real time at work, and I can tell you nothing beats it. And so, how do I build this pool? How do I identify you? Again, who knows what you're doing? You can be you're trying to go from unknown to or from best kept secret to known. It can be something you do in quietness and isolation. Who are you talking to? How many people know about your work? And this comes back to that again, speak up and advocate for yourself. What content are you putting out? Right? Are you subject matter for this particular area in the mind of anybody in in your ecosystem? Right? So when it comes with that, it's you have to be you build. There's a level of intentionality that you need, that you require, whether it's in your social media content, in engagement on platforms like LinkedIn, the things you're putting out. Those things begin to create a an image around you, right? People will say your brand. But basically you are really creating and you are framing the perception of you in the minds of people so that you are top of mind for certain things. And then what you will see is they will start becoming alignments. You will start getting connected to other aligned individuals because they see you as their tribe, right? They see you as their tribe. But if you are not talking about what you do, if there is no online footprint of your work, of your expertise, of your areas of strength, there's nothing calling out to anybody else, right? There's no deep calling out to deep here. There is no uh, um There's no, dog whistles, as it were, calling out to your tribe, to your clan, saying, "Hey, I'm one of you." Right? It's the things you put out that begin people begin to say, I like there's an alignment here. I like what this person is saying about this. I like how they speak on this topic. And now they start making it. And then one day, you're like, man, I feel like I've known you a long time. That's because this relationship has been formed over time without even you knowing that you are forming a relationship. Right. So start from there. Start with being intentional about what you put out, or of how you present yourself, especially in the online space. Right. Becoming more intentional about that, becoming strategic as well. So intentionality plus strategy, right? Let that be part of your execution plan. Um, and when you identify people too who are, as you build, again, shout out to social media and all those platforms, these algorithms begin to find ways to connect to people. Don't be afraid to get in the DMs and send messages. Again, part of our upbringing might not allow us to be comfortable with doing things like that. Can you get in the DM of somebody, quote unquote, powerful, more powerful than you, who has gone ahead, and say, "Hey, I admire you very much. I admire your work, and this is who I am and what I do, and I'd love to, have a conversation. I'd love to start this kind of relationship, from a professional perspective," right? Frame it, but reach out. You will get better at doing it, right? You'll get better at doing it. Just reach out, ask for some time to chat, let them know your interest. And it might not be an ask for a phone call. Some of them might be too busy to engage at the time. And so it might just be just want to introduce myself to you. Just, I follow your work and I admire you. And if there's, you know, any opportunities, I'd love to provide opportunities to serve, to help, right? What are they working on? If they have initiatives going on, are there things that you can help with? Let them know, hey, I followed this, I followed you, I'm here. I feel like I can be of service in this area. I see you have this project going on. I see you have this event coming up. I'd love to help out in what you're doing. Those are some things you can do in nurturing and building uh, um, those relationships. That's some of the things you can do. Am I still alive? So that's some of the things that we can do. All right, something happened. This is the danger of using the phone to do this. All right, looks like I'm still live, even though my froze, my picture is frozen. But anyway, I'll just hope and I'll just believe that it's still recording. um, so just reach out, offer to serve, offer to help. That's how you, again, offer to give before you ask. What are you giving, right? How can I be of service? How can I help? That's how you build, nurture, make these connections. Um, and then lastly, I'll say this, you reap what you sow. You reap what you sow. So if you're looking to sponsor, to be sponsored, then are you sponsoring anybody? Who is who are you? Who is better because of you? Who is getting opportunities? Whose doors are being opened, right? Are you lifting other women up in your own capacity? There are people who are beneath, or who you, let me not say beneath, that's the wrong phrase, that's the wrong word. There are people who you have gone ahead of. Are they getting their own open doors because of you? Are they getting access because of you? Right? What you sow, you will reap. That's just the way the world works, right? If you if you're opening doors for others, people will open doors for you. You never know who is going to speak your name in front of kings, right? They might not be the king, they might not be powerful, but they might have friends, they might have access, they might have relationships, and they will remember you when it's time, right? They will remember you when it's time. I'll tell the story of, Joseph in the prison, and the Bible, using Bible for put that Bible faith-based people. In the prison he served, he served, and there were the king's prisoners, that or the king's butler and baker were thrown in the prison where Joseph was. And he realized, hey, these guys are going through stuff. I have an expertise in interpreting dreams. And so when they had their distress dreams, he came and offered to help them out and offered interpretation of their dreams. And they did. And his only ask was, hey, I have served you. I have given you. When you are reinstated back to your office, please do not forget me. I don't deserve to be here. That was his ask. And when the second person, the butler, was restored back, initially he forgot, but a day came when the king had a dream, and then he remembered and he said, "Ah, I have been wrong. I forgot this guy who helped me out." And that was how access to the king was made. But it came from a place of serving. He had the privilege and opportunity, and he used his skills to help somebody who could not. And it opened bigger doors for him. What you make happen for others will find its way back to you. All right. And so that's part of how you get in front of, get access to the thrones, to the front of kings, is through serving people who might not be able to pay you, opening doors for people who can't open it for themselves, but you're in a privileged position, and then you start this cycle of door opening, this cycle of, service, this cycle of being a blessing. All right. So as we celebrate, our Women's History Month and prepare for our women's conference on March 28th, I just want to again wrap this up by saying I, celebrate the incredible women, in our African immigrant community, but just generally African women as a whole, especially the ones here in the diaspora, here in the United States and Canada, um, doing incredible work, making significant sacrifices while still building. We see you, we celebrate and honor you guys. You're doing great. We wouldn't be here. A lot of the if you follow like trends, around and accomplishments around the continent, for people from the continent doing great things in this place, it's a lot of women doing incredible work, doing incredible things, and it's so powerful. We can ride your coattails, and so keep doing you. We celebrate you, we acknowledge you all, and we're on your corner as well, we're on your side. um we're going to keep pushing and elevating your voices within our capacity, within where we have. So yeah, that's my spiel. Please, before I go, if you have not, for all the women who will see this, if you have not registered for our women's conference, March 28th, it's going to be incredible. It's the speaker lineup is amazing. It's everything we do at AIM is done with a touch of excellence. All of the great women who are part of our ecosystem are putting together an incredible and amazing event. A lot of work is going on behind the scenes. I'm close enough to see the work going on and the planning and the efforts. And I promise you, this event is being curated for transformation. It's going to be it's unique kinds of panels, not the regular ones you've seen, right? Real life mentorship and mentor matching, identifying sponsors. You're getting in depth into some of the conversations that I'm having today. And so make sure you sign up, make sure you are ready, and let somebody else know, right? It's virtual. It's going to be virtual. For some of our speakers might be in person, but it's a virtual event. So wherever you are, you can be a part of it. Don't miss it for anything, right? Don't just attend by yourself. Let somebody else know we're doing this incredible work and we're doing it to serve. Uh, um, we want to make sure there's transformations that happen in that space. We believe we've curated an atmosphere and an environment that bring about transformation for attendees. So we don't want anybody to be told about it. So make sure you sign up for this. And I'll leave you. I'll leave it at that. It's going to be incredible. But again, shout out to all of our women. God bless you all for all you do. And till I come your way next week, stay thriving beyond borders. God bless you. My name is Nandi. See you next week.